Hey guys, Sydney here with something very new to my channel, a recipe video for you guys. On my blog, I've already posted my recipe for chocolate chip cookies. Crispy, by the way, perfectly crispy. I feel like there's a whole group of us who just are not into the chewy, pull apart stuff, and we just want a cookie that is crispy and more like a biscuit. So I kind of fiddled around with a few different recipes until I found this one, my own, which I think works pretty well. Steven loves this, my parents love this, my friends love this, and even people who don't care much for me have liked this before. So I think that says everything. Let's get going.
For this recipe, you will need 3 1/4 cups all-purpose flour, 1 cup of room temperature unsalted butter, 3/4 of a cup of cane sugar, 3/4 of a cup of firmly packed dark brown sugar, 2 large eggs, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1½ teaspoons of pure vanilla extract, ½ teaspoon of salt, and 1½ cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips. You can also add the nuts of your choice if you'd like. I'm allergic, so I don't. First thing we'll want to do is add baking soda and salt to our sifted flour, then mix well with a whisk, and then we can leave that alone for a little while we mix together our wet ingredients and sugar. First, crack your 2 eggs into your softened butter, then you're going to take a silicone spatula and combine all of that. If you don't have time to leave the butter out to soften, just microwave it on the soften setting, or if you're like me and you don't have a softening setting on your microwave, just go ahead and microwave it for 10 seconds at a time, watching it carefully. You really don't want the butter melted, although you may want it a little softer than what I have here. Then you're going to want to add both of your sugars and mix in well. It does take a little bit of elbow grease. I don't have that much use for a stand mixer or a hand mixer at home, so I don't mind making these cookies this way. As time goes by, the butter will easily come apart. It's okay if there are chunks for now. We'll get rid of those soon. Then add your vanilla and stir. Then take your flour mixture and slowly add small amounts of it to your wet ingredients. You'll start to see the cookie dough come together. This is a lot of flour for this recipe, so after a while you're going to start to notice the dough becomes too difficult to work with a spatula. So get in there with your hands. Don't be afraid to get messy with this recipe. It's actually a lot of fun and very satisfying. Now I'm going to pour in my chocolate chips and work that into the mixture with my hands, evenly spreading them out. Don't forget to sample a little bit of this cookie dough, because in my opinion it's some of the best raw cookie dough I've ever had. Just make sure that you trust where you get your eggs. Then take a teaspoon and scoop up the mixture, creating a ball with your hands. I like to make mine really small, but for the purpose of this video I'm going to make them about the size of a golf ball. If you decide to make them all about golf ball size, I would say this makes about 36 cookies. If you make them tiny like how I make them on a regular basis, you're going to end up with about 48 or so. It just depends on how big you want them. To make them perfectly crispy, I'm going to flatten them myself. With the cookies having already been flattened before going into the oven, it's going to make it really easy for them to crisp up while in there. Bake them in an oven set to 350 degrees for about 22 minutes. That is how long it took for these cookies to get really perfect. Every oven is different, however, so I would suggest keeping them in there for about 15 minutes and then adding a couple minutes every single time. Once they're nice and golden brown, you can go ahead and remove them from the oven. Finally, let them cool down on the tray before removing. This will give it some time to crisp up and become the texture that we want.
And those are my delicious and perfectly crispy chocolate chip cookies. This may not necessarily convert somebody from being a chewy cookie lover to a crispy cookie lover, but I promise you it'll satisfy both types of people. Let me know if you tried this recipe out at all. I will come out with more recipe videos and a department tour soon, once we get a couple of things settled. Enjoy your week, you guys, and until we meet again. Hey guys, how's this? Now I'm lucky enough to have my own kitchen to myself and Steven. Anyway, have a nice rest of your week. There's a bee outside. And if anyone asks you where you got that recipe from, you can give them my blog post. Just a thought. Everybody here is dressed like it's wintertime. Seriously, San Francisco weather. We only got like a handful of hot days. I can't wear these shorts out here recording without Steven today. So, thank you for being patient. Oh no! There's certain parts that are fine.